And once again, the Astros dominate on the road and in this ballpark. And like you've been saying all postseason,
the Astros are inevitable. I have been saying it all season long. They were just down 0-2 in this series, Alex, and heading on the road against the hottest team in baseball that hadn't lost in the playoffs. And now look where we are. We're standing here after Game 4 in a 2-2 series. It's all evened up. Now you got a best 2 out of 3 series to go to the World Series. This is what makes dynasties, Alex, what the Astros are able to do right now. Backs against the wall, 0-2. They've been there. They've experienced that. They've experienced every situation imaginable. Let's go back to 2017 when this run started. Everything's happened to them. They've swept. They've been swept. They've gotten down and they've come back. They've gotten up and they've lost a lead and then they've found a way to win it. Everything imaginable has happened to this team. They've been in every situation you could possibly be in out on the field. The team takes a lead early. We're fine. We take a lead early. We know how to hold it. Oh, they come right back and tie us up. Well, we're going to put up 10 on your ass then. That's what they've done. They've experienced everything and they know how to put teams away. That's what makes dynasties. They're never out of it. Ever. Which leads to momentum. That's what they have right now. They're better on the road, and they were able to come in here and grab all of the momentum away from the Texas Rangers, who had the second longest winning streak in the playoffs ever, behind only the Kansas City Royals. So they had all of the momentum here in these playoffs. All of the momentum was the Rangers. So finally, the Astros were able to beat them. And tonight I thought it came down to what are they able to do with that momentum. Can you keep it? Winning in a 7-game series, winning the World Series is all about momentum. Nobody knows that more than the Houston Astros. They were able to grab that momentum away from the Rangers last night, but tonight it was about keeping that momentum and keeping it going forward, which all starts tomorrow. They have the first game tomorrow. The NLCS will be the night game. The Astros and the Rangers, Game 5 is up first. Justin will be on the mound. So not only have you grabbed the momentum, not only have you used the momentum to propel yourself to even in this series, now you have your best pitcher going in Game 5. In the biggest game to this point of the entire season for the Astros, you have Justin going. There's nobody you would rather on the mound to keep that momentum going than the Houston Astros. And now you have the Rangers fans, the players, their mentality. It can't be good. It can't be good right now. Their mentality, you could hear it here. We talked about it pregame. If the Astros are able to get a lead and to jump out in an early start, this place is going to be defeated. Oh, boy. Here we go again. Oh, no. It's happening all over again. I remember just a few years ago, about a decade ago, we were one strike away from winning the World Series. Twice in back-to-back innings. One strike away from winning the World Series. 2 years in a row that they could have won the World Series, and they lost it. This fan base, the Texas Rangers fan base, they've been a tortured fan base. They just have. We have a lot of Texas Rangers fans on this Flippin Bats crew, and one of them said, I remember 2017 so well. And the second the Houston Astros won the World Series, my first thought was, I can't believe the Houston Astros won a World Series before we did. That's what this fan base has gone through, and you could sense that here tonight. Yeah, they were up 2-0 when they came back here. Yeah, they lost the first one here, and you just felt like if any momentum creeped in, if the Astros were able to get out to a lead at all, then this fan base and the players, we would have to see how they would react. But this Rangers team is so streaky, Alex. We've talked about it all playoffs. They're the only team in baseball this year to have 8 wins in a row and 8 losses in a row. And they were the hottest team in all of baseball coming into the playoffs, the first 7 games of the playoffs, and then they lost it. They lost that momentum. And now they're freezing cold. So now what are they going to do? Are they going to let that 7 in a row turn into a 7 in a row in the other direction like we've seen them do this year? Well, if that's the case, then they're going to be home in a couple days, or in Cancun in a couple days if they're not able to figure this out. So what do they have to do? They have to get the bats going. They did it a little bit tonight. We talked pregame about 1 through 4, and this Rangers lineup was hitting 146 in the ALCS and how that wouldn't cut it. Well, a little bit of progress there tonight, but Marcus Semien, where are you at, man? Corey Seager showed up tonight, finally hit a bomb to the opposite field. Adolis Garcia showed up tonight as well, but 1 through 4 has to carry this team. And right now, they're not doing that. And on the opposite side, you ain't going to win ball games when you're giving up 10 runs. So, lastly, why the Astros are inevitable, especially in this series, their depth. Depth doesn't show up in games 1 and 2 of a 7-game series. It shows up in games 3 and 4 and 7. So they have to walk a very tight rope right now in how to navigate the rest of this series, because you have 2 pitchers right now that you are extremely confident in, Jordan Montgomery and Nathan Eovaldi, and those guys are going in the next 2 games. Game 5 and Game 6, you got those 2 guys, and after that you have an extreme lack of depth where the Houston Astros thrive. Who are the Astros able to turn to in a potential Game 7? Christian Javier, who's one of the best postseason pitchers in the history of this game. Who are the Rangers going to go to? Maybe Max Scherzer? Maybe Dane Dunning, Andrew Heaney. None of those are confident options to me. The depth has taken over in this series, and that is why the Astros were able to tie this series up. They used their depth to their advantage.
Now, you mentioned the Astros have been in almost every single situation you can think of, and they have been. They've been in this exact situation before. The World Series back in 2018, where they went down 2 games, won the next 3, and then lost the World Series at home. What do you think they learned from that experience to make sure that does not happen again?
I think they take a ton from the 2019 World Series against the Nationals, where, again, you lose the first 2 games at home. Then what happens? They win the next 2 games on the road, so that's currently exactly where we sit. We sit exactly where we were talking about in that 2019 World Series. And then they won that next game. So they went up 3-2. Not a single home team had won a game in that World Series. And then they went back home to Houston with Justin and Garrett Cole on the mound. And we all know how that turned out. They ended up losing that series. There is so much you can learn from that experience. We mentioned how the 2017 Astros, there's only 3 guys left from that team on this team. The 2019 Astros, there's 9. So you best believe all of those guys, all 9 of those, learned from that experience and said, we should have won that. We were able to do what we needed to do on the road, what the Astros are doing right now, and then we were going back home with all the depth. We had all the depth. We had every advantage over the Nationals, and we blew it. So, again, that's this Astros team being inevitable and knowing that they've been in every situation thrown at them, and you best believe, Alex, that the Astros are looking back on 2019 against the Washington Nationals and realizing, okay, we're 1 game away from all of the positives taking place, and then we're going to change history a little bit.
It's just so crazy how well the Astros have been playing on the road. I mean, it's kind of the main topic you talk about with every single player, every single broadcaster out here.
Thanks for watching. If you love Flippin Bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.